We're seeing if anyone out here condemns Hamas, the terrorists.
Absolutely do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you with these guys?
I just showed up independently.
You just showed up. What do you think about what's happening out here?
It's necessary.
This is necessary?
It's necessary to protest what's happening right now.
Okay.
Because there's no reason why tax dollars, American tax dollars, should be going ahead and funding not just this war in Israel, but the war in the Ukraine. There are homeless people around the world. There are homeless people in the United States that don't have homes. There are military veterans that don't have medical care. There are people that don't have health care in this country.
And you just showed up here. You're not a part of this. No. I love this. What's your name?
My name's Joe.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
I love this. Joe, I'm with you 100%. Now, these guys are saying ceasefire, but they won't condemn Hamas. They won't condemn terrorism against Israel. And I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
We don't want to spend our money on all these wars.
Right.
But would you agree we should condemn Hamas and any terrorist organization?
I absolutely do. Because, again, Hamas is a terrorist organization. That's what they are. If you read what Hamas's charter says, it talks about, in their charter, the extermination of Jewish people.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
In every form.
Yeah.
No one should be exterminated, whether it's Hamas looking to exterminate Jewish people, or as importantly, the extermination of Palestinians at the hand of an Israeli regime.
Steve, I didn't know this guy. I didn't know Joe was going to be out here, but he's the first one that's willing to talk to me. He's not a part of this, but he's actually. I love that.
I was going to be out here.
Ben,
I'm here to play a show tonight in Washington, D.C. at Flash Nightclub.
Hang on a second, Joe. Hang on a second. Go ahead, Steve.
Ben, ask Joe, can he identify any politician of any party that represents his point of view that speaks for him?
So Steve wants to know, can you identify any politician in any party, right or left, in Congress or anywhere in this city that represents the views that you believe?
None that I've seen so far, because whenever anything is bipartisan in the United States, that means it's never good for the American people. It's never good. Whenever you have bipartisan support for a war, bipartisan support against healthcare, bipartisan support against reparations for American descendants of enslaved Africans, bipartisan support against student loan cancellation. That's not good for people, working class Americans that pay taxes to this country. I want to opt out of paying taxes. My tax dollars and a whole bunch of taxpayers' dollars here in this country didn't go for this. We didn't ask for this.
You know what I love about this, Steve? I bet you Joe and I bet you we disagree on maybe half of the issues. You know, I don't want I don't want tax dollars going to wiping out my student loan debt because I chose to get that. But I agree with you 100%. I'm tired of paying taxes for what all my tax dollars are going to. Steve, this is what we need. Conversations in America. Unfortunately, we don't have that. You got people banging their drums saying ceasefire, but supporting Hamas terrorists. That's the sad reality.
And again, I don't know your name. I don't know what political affiliation you have.
Yeah, we got these guys yelling over here, Steve. These guys yelling over here, but Joe's the only one that's willing to talk.
And again, I don't know your political affiliation, and quite frankly, that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Because this is past politics. This is past politics. And again, I was here 2 years ago for the Force the Vote rallies to make sure that the progressive members of the House of Representatives had Nancy Pelosi do a floor vote for Medicare for all during the middle of a deadly pandemic.
Again, I would disagree with you on that, but that's the beauty of America.
It's not only a First Amendment right, it's a human right. Yeah. You have the right to protest. The First Amendment of the United States affords 5 rights. Journalism, like you're doing right now, the right to protest your government for redress of grievances, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom to protest. This is what we have in America. This is why America is America. But unfortunately, this country is built on genocide. It was built on racism. It was built on the disenfranchisement and enslavement of Africans and Native American people.
And unfortunately, we may disagree on this too. I think it's being exploited now by the very people that say they care. Steve, hang on one second, Joe. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Ben, ask Joe where he's playing tonight at the club so the audience, if they want to, my producers want to know if they can follow him. Where is he playing? How did they get to his website?
Our audience wants to know, where are you promoting? What are you doing? You said you're going to go to work at a club. Where can people come find you that watch this and want to support you, support small business?
I'm playing a show at Flash Nightclub, Washington, D.C. Joe Nice DJ on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, Mixcloud. That's who I am. Again, I don't know your name.
I'm Ben.
Ben?
God bless you, brother.
Likewise, brother. Thank you so much. And again, I fully support the idea of a protest because politics, bad politics. Not only bad politics, but bad policy and dishonest politicians got us into the position we are in right now. And it was Albert Einstein that once said, we are not going to solve the problems with the problems that created the problem.
Yeah, amen.
We're not going to solve our problems with politics.
Yeah.
If we think we're going to vote our way out of this, we're sadly mistaken. There needs to be more protests like this.
Wow.
There needs to be industrial.
I would disagree with like this because they're supporting terrorists, but yes, in general.
But
Against this corrupt government.
I thoroughly agree with that. We agree on that.
Yeah.
There needs to be protests, but in addition, there needs to be industrial action. We need work stoppages, worker strikes across this country, intra-industry and inter-industry. Because right now the government is not listening to the people. They're not listening to the people. They're not. We've had a bunch of politicians in this country that are doing whatever they want, and that has to stop.